Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're coming to you on a non-Wednesday night / Thursday morning to do a very special mini-series about the season 2 of Severance.
We love Severance. We've been waiting for 3 long years for it to return. So we thought a better way to celebrate than to do a quick little chat about each episode, even though we don't do a lot of TV on Queer Cinema Catchup.
This is going to be quick. This is going to be dirty. This is going to be messy.
Yes. So says Joe. I'm not sure.
And we also have Will's in town visiting.
Our producer is here in the flesh to speak with us about Severance. We all watched the premiere together on Thursday night.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of late to doing this specific episode. They're going to be very short mini episodes. So we have to get through this introduction really quickly. But they're going to be, roughly around the time that the episodes get released. We'll do an episode each time.
Yes, and they will be, closer in time to the release date. But this first one's a little bit behind. To start us off, who would like to recap this week's episode?
Oh, that's hard.
In as few sentences as possible. And if we need it to be me, that works too.
The gang returns to the underground any work world.
However, the gang is different at first.
But then they
it's
return.
the same.
So to contextualize what you both just said.
Thank you.
Adam Scott, who plays, I'm blanking on his name, Mark, it's the moment after he is in the outie world, realizing that the woman who's his therapist in the innie world might be his dead wife in the real world. Right after that moment, he comes to, he's back at work. It's been 5 months, he's told. He is no longer working with his pals. He's working with all these new people. And there's a child that works there now as his boss, and they don't seem to be getting along. We'll track that as we continue to go. And Mark doesn't like this, so he demands a change, somehow gets to talk to the board by forcing his way into Milchek's office because Miss Cobell missing.
From this entire episode.
And finally, he's reunited with his friends, and they have a choice to make. They must decide if they are going to. Lumon has made a lot of changes thanks to the uprising of the 4 innies last season. Apparently, they're now world famous, although we don't see any of the outside world, so we do not know if this is true. And they must decide today if they're going to stay employees of Lumon or exit Lumon life and basically kill their innie selves. And they all agree to do it for various reasons. And I'd say that that's probably the big plot point of the episode.
Lead us. What's next?
Next, reactions. Did we like this episode?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you?
I did. I did. We liked it so much that we rewound it to a particular part because of a theory we had, and then just kind of sat there and continued to watch for about 20 minutes. Very engrossing, very fast-paced. Like, did you not feel like the way Mark was waking up, he kept leaving work and then coming back to work, and you experienced it as an innie, where I never really thought about how they're waking up. They're going to sleep by leaving the office and then waking up in the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
How awful would that be?
How awful would it be leaving work and then immediately going back and returning to work?
That sounds like
They never get rest.
Yes.
No, they don't know what sleep is.
They feel rested,
Yes.
but they get rest.
And I wonder if the sleep thing, remember last season, Irv was like falling asleep and having those weird dreams. So I'm wondering if like sleep's bad or like messes up with the,
Interesting.
I don't know.
Well, some of the marketing has been showing Mark's head in a balloon.
True.
What Allison suggested to the theory that we had, that I think Will first
Theory
stated,
of the week segment.
is that Helly R is actually currently her outie.
And why? What were some like pieces of evidence that you noticed that made you think that she's not really any Helly?
Well, you had said that when she came out of the elevator, she seemed to be confused to where she was.
Confused, and also she just was in the performance itself. She's such a good. I forget what the actress's name is.
I do too.
But
she went to Northwestern.
Oh, there you go. She's such a great actress,
Yeah.
and the performance from Helly R in the first season compared to this is very different, but like minutely different.
Yeah, it was really impressive.
I would say though, if you hadn't pointed that out, I wouldn't have picked up on it. But then, like observing her through that lens,
and what
then
was your clue?
Towards the end of the episode, we were talking about how like fast paced is, and it's just so much. It's so stimulating because we haven't seen this show in so long. But I noticed when Helly R, she's like going back to like the groups coming together to finally sit together and go back on their computers and complete their mystery mission. And Helly R sits down and it shows a close up of her reaching to turn on her computer, and it's just like a shot, and you don't really think much of it. And
set
in the
to
moment,
music, I think.
set to music, and again, watching it the first time, you don't really notice. But then I was like, wait, did she like struggle to find where the button was? Kind of,
Yep.
And then so that's where we rewound, and sure enough, you see like Helly R's like finger go back there, goes by in a flash, but if you're looking for it, you'll notice she's like struggling to find where the button is. So I think it kind of feeds into the theory that you were thinking of.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Maybe the final clue, which I thought about in retrospect, she gets very, when she and Mark are debating whether they're gonna stay at Lumon, she gets very activated when, I forget what Mark says, but she's like, Innie and Outies are not the same. And she goes, and it seems like she's giving this impassioned, almost like pro-Innie, like the people out there are evil and they've done us wrong, but you could also read it the opposite way where she's like, I am no Innie. And anyway, we kind of think that we're on something. We felt very smart. I was applauding Will and Joe because it did not occur to me. And then I went on Reddit and I discovered that, probably the entire internet's talking about this. And
so again, this show is very smart, and I think they're aware of the fan base, they're aware of the theories, and so it could be a complete misdirect. But I really think that this is kind of a theory, and I think if it is the case that Helly is really her outie, I think they're going to reveal to us within the next couple episodes.
I think so
Yes.
too.
It's not going to be like a reveal at the end.
No.
I think they're very good about, especially last season, like there'll be theories and then that you get confirmation and then there's more, which kind of, it gives you the satisfaction of, oh, I guessed, but then narratively you're still surprised, so you're not disappointed, which I think is very tough to pull off as a writer, and that's why I love this show. Okay, next segment. What would you do? This is where we pick a choice a character made or characters made in the episode. We decide if we would make the same choice or what would we do with this dilemma. And so this one was pretty easy because the characters have to decide if they're going to stay an Innie. Would you do that?
I mean, it's a deeper question because by saying that you don't want to be an Innie any longer, and Innie, although it's yourself, it's like your brain split in two. So you're basically saying, are you okay with dying?
Yes.
That seems like fucking hell to me to be down there all the time. I think I'd be fine with exiting.
Really?
And allowing my other half to live its existence outside.
Yeah, I agree.
I love living, and I just think that if that's all I knew, I probably would choose to stay just because it is an experiential experience. And also I'm a hopeful person, so maybe I would believe that we could discover what was really going on or save ourselves, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I'm also a very fearful person, so if things got to be a little bit too dangerous down there, I'd probably leave as well.
All right, we're trying to make these episodes really short, but I do have a follow-up question. When you first said that prompt in your little outline, I thought you meant which character would we align with the most.
Oh, okay, well, yeah.
And it's hard for me to align with anyone, but I feel like you'd be Irv. Where you'd be like, I'm definitely leaving. And then someone would have to convince you to stay, and then you'd
I'm
say,
here. But
fine, I will stay.
You don't see how loyal it was in the end. But I will say, I feel like I'm an Irv Helly mix. Personally.
So you're a liar.
Because you don't want to look like Irv.
Irv's an attractive man? No, because I feel like I have that, in the first season, how sort of resistant she was or skeptical.
Yeah.
And pushing back. I feel like even though I'm really pliable, I also have that inside of me too. That kind of
to infiltrate and lie to people?
She didn't lie in the first season.
Well, she
Season
lied
2.
in this episode.
But I said season 1 Helly, and she might be Helena. I didn't say it was Helena. I said Helly. Okay, what about you? Who would you guys be?
What's his name? What's the funny guy's name?
The actor's Mark Cherry.
Oh, I love Mark Cherry, yeah.
So you'd be Mark Cherry.
I'd be Mark Cherry.
I can look up what his
think.
name was.
I'd just be cracking jokes left and right.
What about you, Joe?
I'd be Miss Cobell. Off on the side, not in the episode. And I'm sure I
Dylan.
cannot wait for her fucking entrance.
Yeah,
that-
because she's looming over this entire episode.
It's called Hello, Miss Cobell, because Mr. Milchek now has her desk, but the computer still says Hello, Miss Cobell, and he's pissed.
Which is weird that it would happen, or that it would be that way for 5 straight months, don't you think?
I do think that that's probably a lie.
A
But it's a
lie.
weird lie, because they don't really have...
Well, what happened in between those 5 months? They have to have been somewhere.
Or has it actually been
Or-
5
oh,
months?
Or has it been a day?
Sorry. Yes. Correct. I think it's been a day.
Because somebody pointed out online that the picture of the newspaper where it said the Innies make a revolutionary change, it is the same stance, they're all standing in the same position as they are in the group photo they took last season that's on everybody's desk. So it seems photoshopped is the implication.
Also, there's a painting that appears.
Yes.
And we had some questions because some of the initial group that we mentioned that first appears at the beginning of the episode that's different than the main group, the new Innies that eventually disappear again. Some of them appear to be in this painting, but some of them are missing from the painting. We don't know what that means. I think we're also running out of time. Is there anything else left on your sheet?
Patricia moment of the week, which we were so upset that she wasn't in this episode.
Yes.
Sad tears. I also have any of the week, outie of the week. We kind of covered that. So I actually think we should add a new thing, which is because this is Queer Cinema Catchup. What was the queerest thing you saw on Severance this week?
The balloons.
Balloons?
The red ball thing with the young girl who's now the boss does this exercise.
Are we saying the queerest thing of this episode? What are we?
No, I moved on. I moved on because I don't have a queerest thing in the episode. Okay. But I am going to say that the red ball scene I love because it just felt very satirical. A workplace is like, we need to be better. So we're going to do this really silly thing where we pass the ball around and everyone shares their feelings. But they're supposed to share, but the only things that they can share are things from this. They only live in that office. So there's nothing for them to share. And I thought that was really hilarious. And that's the kind of humor you could find on Severance.
Well, the best line of the show, maybe we could end on that.
Sure.
Is Mark says, I'm just happy to have made 4 new friends. And then this new young girl is like, I am your boss and I cannot be your friend. And he's like, fine. I'm happy to have made 3 good friends.
Genius.
And then she like smiles. She's like,
genius line. I gotta go, guys. My boss is calling me.
All right, join
I
us.
live in the severed world. All right.
Join us very
See
soon
ya.
for the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.